everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Bub Report. I'm your humble host, Dr. Kellen Bub, thanking you for joining us for this week's edition. Please remember to like and share this week's stream. Now, it is a common lament that regional maritime connectivity has seen better times. In days gone by, the Black Star Line, operated by Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the Universal Negro Improvement Association, was born out of a consolidated sense of Black pride and a long-standing desire for a Black nation. Albeit for a short time between 1919 to 1922, this service was his vision that the shipping line would foster Black trade and transport passengers between America, the Caribbean, and Africa. In more recent times, the company Windward Ferries, operated by a 58-meter combination carrier lift-on, lift-off passenger ferry for 250 passengers and 350 tons of cargo for the period 1999 to 2000. This ferry operated between St. Lucia, Barbados, St. Vincent, Trinidad, the Margarita Islands, and Puerto La Cruz in Venezuela. To draw reference to existing services, Express del Ease is currently operated out of the French Caribbean territories and offers inter-island ferry services between St. Lucia, Martinique, Dominica, and Guadeloupe. Average ticket prices on that service range from $100 for a one-way ticket to $150 for a return ticket. Trinidad and Tobago also operates a regular fast ferry service, permitting travelers to transit between the two islands of Trinidad and Tobago at a reasonable cost of just over $15. Now, in spite of these successes, several attempts at curating a regional ferry service has been a challenge. Well, one organization in the region is trying to change this by establishing a sustainable, convenient, and affordable ferry service connecting the Eastern Caribbean region. The new ferry service, Connect Caribe, hopes to create a regional transport system interconnecting the Caribbean community member states, promising not only passenger movement, but the shipment of cargo as well. The private sector initiative, announced in January of this year, plans to commission 3 vessels for this purpose. And though the support of respective regional governments was noted, the new private sector-led venture is completely separate from the ongoing work by the governments of Guyana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago to commence a new ferry service among these 3 respective Caribbean states. And if all goes according to plan, the 3 vessels on the Connect Caribe will be dedicated to weekly and daily round trips connecting Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent, Grenada, Dominica, Antigua, Suriname, and Guyana. Of course, the ferry service also has intention of also servicing Jamaica in the future. The vessels will have the capacity to transport up to 8,000 passengers, cargo, and manufactured goods, as well as produce. Here to make sense of this new venture is the CEO of Caribbean Israel Finance and UN Peace Ambassador, Dr. Andre Thomas. Ambassador Thomas, welcome to this week's edition of the Bub Report, sir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bab. It's a pleasure to join you.
Absolutely. Of course, Ambassador Thomas, when this story made it across our desk, we jumped at excitement because it was happening against the backdrop of several frustrations that exist not only in Grenada, but in the rest of the Eastern Caribbean in respect of the challenge that occurs when one is trying to get 90 miles away, say, to Trinidad or Barbados. And it can take upwards of 24 hours to do that. Or sometimes you have to fly north in order to fly back south. So what will make this particular ferry service revolutionary for the region, given the current regional transport challenges that we are confronted with?
Absolutely. Very good question. Now, we are going to launch a service that pays attention to the flow of passengers between the islands and provide a daily service or weekly service based on the passenger flow.
Mhm,
We are going to take things stage by stage. We're going to go where the demand is. We're
mhm,
going to, but sometimes you have to create the you have to create the structure to really assess the demand.
mhm,
So we are taking things one step at a time, and we are going to start with first our first route in terms of the passenger cargo route will be Barbados, Trinidad, Grenada, St. Vincent, and St.
mhm,
Lucia,
mhm,
and also St. Vincent. So that's what we're going to start with on day one. And then we'll add Dominica, and then we'll then get another vessel and go step by step. But we're going to
mhm,
start and then interpret the data, interpret the demand, and take it one step at a time. But those are our plans, and then we're going to move lots of cargo across the region. So
mhm.
so so we're going to have a other start will have most likely a 75-25% uh, model where we have about 25% will be passengers and uh, and cargo increasing to about 50%. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
And the other, okay, 50% will be just cargo. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I hear you saying here, sir, is that this ferry service will be multi-purpose.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We are going to move cargo. Now, in terms of cargo, um, we intend to move maritime cargo all across the region. Um, this is very important because we are launching with the service an e-commerce platform that allows the islands to trade between themselves and allow micro businesses, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, large businesses to be able to trade between themselves. The e-commerce platform, the e-commerce market in the region is a $4 billion market.
Mhm,
Over 4 billion US dollars is spent on e-commerce. This year will be spent. Now, tremendous pockets of entrepreneurial ability within the region that if you have a maritime can connect within themselves. So this service really, it's a it's a it's a corridor, it's a system that would facilitate passenger travel, commerce, and trade. So it goes way beyond passengers.
Okay, very well. We're beyond that passenger capacity. Now, what make this service different and sustainable? Now, as I've said in the lead up, we've had ferry services that have come on the scene with similar intention, but unfortunately they failed. And so that certainly has given folks pause to say, well, okay, we have a new ferry service here, but we have heard this before. Um, how will this particular venture be sustainable in the long run
That's a
and
very
not
good
fall after,
question.
let's say, a year or 2 years?
That's a very good question. Well, I must tell you this. I loved your introduction because my my ancestors, my direct descendants, used the black liner. The Black Star liner was used by my ancestors to leave Jamaica and go to Freetown, Sierra Leone. So I'm part of the Caribbean community that left Jamaica with those ships and went back to Africa. So we have a Caribbean community there, plays cricket, does everything. And I would say, okay, number one, I'm very passionate about this. That's number one. Number two is that we have studied comprehensively the successes and the shortfalls of the ferry services that have tried to operate in the region and those that have. We also have the president of Windward Ferries, a great man, Tory, and he's president of our ferry division. So we have a great team. And what we've done is really come up with a success equation because I believe what happens, it's not an easy thing to do this. If it was easy, it would have been done before. So we felt that um, the ingredients for success are here within the region. But the key is the success equation. And the success equation does not only lie with the private sector, it lies with the ports, it lies with the government in order to create this and make it work. Because the region, if you look at other nations, is not that large a market until you really, really expand it. And so we are seeking to really do that. So it's really finding the right success equation. And so what we've done, we work very closely. We are members of the CPSO, that's CARICOM Private Sector Organization, and work very closely with CARICOM to achieve these goals. And so I believe what will make us different is that we are taking a synergistic partnership approach to do this, understanding that the success equation to start this and to sustain it is multi-pronged, and we need to manage that. And so that's the approach that we're taking. And also, it's more than a passenger service. It's a cargo service, and it's an e-commerce platform. So we've fused three major pillars and brought them together.
Yeah, so you in the launch you mentioned food security and the region's food import bill, and that really stood out to us because the region is one of the biggest net importers of food from North America and from other sources. And within the context of that it's happening against the backdrop of our own food security issues, because we always talk about food security, but the irony is not lost on me that here we are talking about food security, but we are not really doing anything in respect of beefing up those food security challenges. So talk to us about the role of the ferry in reducing that food import bill.
Okay, great question. We have created a actual division within our operation called Connect Agriculture, that its main focus would be to connect farmers and buyers through through the ferry service.
Okay.
And we'll be working with agricultural organizations within the region, and to work with them and partner with CARICOM's goal of the reduction of food importation by 25% by 2025. So that's a major part of our business plan, and we're making sure that in some of our vessels we can we carry agricultural produce. So this is something that we're very focused on, and we will have a dedicated division that just really focuses on this, and we believe that the approach will work. I believe once you can connect the food producers and the buyers, and by the maritime corridor that we are creating, I believe you're going to see some major changes.
Mhm. Absolutely. And have you been having conversations with some of the food import export agencies in the region?
Yes,
And what buy-in have you been getting from them?
we have. I mean, the buy-in has been great across the board. We most definitely have great buy-in, and now it's now been able to leverage that passion for the service and create the conditions for its success. Because you see the reason why this type of operation requires multiple partners is that there are aspects of it that are not in our control. Like example, there is port policy that's not in our control.
Yes.
There are things that are not in our control. So, in order to be able to do this well, you need to be able to bring all the players together. And in fact, we are attempting to do that on the 24th and the 25th, on the 23rd and 24th of July. We're having a stakeholder conference uh, in Barbados where all the stakeholders that uh, that are important to us delivering the travel portion, the agricultural portion, the cargo portion, and the e-commerce portion. We're inviting them to a conference, invite them to a summit, so we can all meet together and come to a same sing from the same hymn sheet
Mhm.
and align our procedures and policies and also see where there are gaps because we want to properly understand where there are gaps. So our approach is very serious. We're not going in naive, okay? So example, we want to speak to customs, we want to speak to immigration, we want to speak to the agricultural health people. I mean, we don't want to bring something from Dominica and then it gets to a port and they refuse to pass it. So if there's anything that if there's anything that slows down the implementation of this project, it's because we're being very thorough. Because we want to deliver this project and make sure it doesn't fail, and it's something that people can be very proud of. And our plan is to build this, grow it across the region, and eventually open up a highway between the Caribbean and Africa. Uh, my ancestors actually came through that way, and so that's what we intend to do. But we're doing it with our eyes wide open,
Mhm.
and we are very eager to know unvarnished, brutal facts of everything that we need to know, and come up with a plan to mitigate it and build this in a phased approach, engaging all the agencies, engaging private sector, government agencies as we work and create this in a synergistic and partnership orientated way. So
Mhm.
that's the approach that we are actually taking. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, of course, I'm sure there are private sector partners who have come on board. You've mentioned the other stakeholders that you'll be meeting with in July. But when you went to some of the private sector partners who have gotten involved in this, and you've said to them that you had that idea, I do know that sometimes crowdfunding can take a lot of work in terms of convincing people to get on board. I think of it as a Shark Tank type of pitch, right? You have this great idea, but are they really going to come on board with it? So what was it about the proposal that you advanced that got that buy-in from your private sector partners?
I believe that we were prepared and we actually demonstrated that the 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 leadership required to execute the project we possess within the team. Because because here's the problem. I define leadership as the application of influence to work with people and through people to create a greater tomorrow that is trapped in today. So it's a long set. It's a long definition. What I'm saying is that we understood and we saw the ingredients that are there in the region, but we were willing to work with people and through people to take the potential and turn it into reality and actually listen. So sometimes you can have a vision that, say, if I were hypothetically saying the vision is 100 meters tall now, but your leadership ability is 50 meters. You're not gonna execute that vision. But your leadership ability, your ability to work with people and through people, to take a future that is trapped in today and bring it into reality, has to match the complexity of the vision. And I believe that's what we demonstrated. That we actually had the leadership, the understanding, the strategy, the tactical understanding, and the logistical acumen required to execute this type of project.
Very well. And so a lot of what you're doing, what I hear you saying here is that your vision is very structured. It's well researched as well. You know, you're not you're building capacity here. You're meeting with the stakeholders who would be involved in this. You're looking at things from the back end in respect of import controls and things like that. Because of course that's one of the complicated realities with the Caribbean single market and economy, is that you're still operating within the framework of countries that have their own customs controls and things like that, which
Absolutely.
in wanting to do a service like that, you certainly have to be able to work through those kinks. So,
Absolutely.
yes, sir. Now let us get down to brass tacks in respect of the amount of ferries that would be in the network. Of course, you did say that it's going to be a phased approach, but what how the ferries, what would they look like? What would be the capacity of each ferry carrying capacity of cargo versus passengers, vehicles? What are we talking about here?
Okay, sure. So I must say that we're very grateful to the data and that our colleagues at the CPSO have provided for us. They've been very helpful in really helping us make these decisions. So following the data and also with another significant partnership that we are actually working on, we have come up with what would be phase one. And within phase one, there's stages within phase one. And so we're going to start with a cruise ferry. So one cruise ferry to begin with, because what we want to do, we want to work the market. Once we do that, we can get another ship within 2 3 months. But it's you want to start. You want to start. You want to understand the market. You want to build capacity. So we're going to start with one cruise ferry. We Our preference is that it will be able to handle at least about 800 passengers, and that will begin with. The great thing for Grenada, it's going to dock in Grenada. Okay, so we will do Barbados, Grenada, uh, Saint Lucia, and Saint Vincent, and also Trinidad. So we start with that, and then we expand. So we've already earmarked. That's what we're going to begin with. So that's that. Then we also have some smaller craft, and that vessel would carry both passengers and cargo. Okay, so the vessel that we're looking at has tremendous capacity in terms of being able to carry cargo. It can take over 50 containers, occasionally 50 to 70 containers. So that's the beginning. Then, with that vessel, we'll have some smaller vessels, which are just cargo vessels, just cargo. And these cargo vessels would move between ports like Dominica for agriculture. It will move to St. Kitts, Nevis, Antigua, move all across, and that's just for the movement of cargo. Okay, they're actually smaller vessels, take between 24 to 30 containers and move quite quickly. So that's really what we're starting with. And then we're looking at another vessel that would then cover Barbados, Trinidad, Suriname. And so we're looking at a vessel that will suit that. That is also great for agriculture as well. And so we're looking at that type of vessel. And then we're also looking long term. Wait, I'm not saying long term, short to medium term, a vessel that will go all the way to Jamaica. And because that's a very important market, uh, it's uh, it's actually 2 million plus, and it's a major part of the Caribbean, and we need to be connected to it as well. And we're also looking at that vessel to also go to the DR. So 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 if you now ideally in our plans would like within, I would say, 18 months from the time we start to be able to create a market of 18 million people. And that's what we want.
Absolutely.
So those are the plans.
Hmm.
And so we have the people to do it. We have the team to do it. We're now actually working with other stakeholders because this cannot be done just by ourselves. We need an enabling environment. And the key thing is this, is that if you create a market of 18 million people, it allows a man in your country, Grenada, who perhaps makes the most amazing sandals. I mean, say that guy's sandals are great, but he does not have the ability to have a shop. And we can take his product will be put on our e-commerce, and someone from the DR actually buy it.
Hmm.
You understand that? And so it's changing the game. The region currently spends $4 billion on e-commerce. So what we want to do is change the game. We want to create thousands of jobs, the thousands of entrepreneurs that would emerge from this. Example, I mean, a lot of people go to Suriname and get clothing. And people now, why cannot an industry develop from Suriname and supply clothing instead of get it from Alibaba or Shane, get it from Suriname? You
Get it
understand?
from here. Get it from our local artisans or
Oh my
local
God.
tailors.
Absolutely. So we want to be able to facilitate this. So
Hmm.
so now, obviously, Rome was not built in a day. It's going to take one step at a time. But the reason why we have um, we have tremendous confidence in the approach that we're taking is that it makes sense, and so many people are going to win. So the approach we took is this: if we create a system in which many people win, we'll succeed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So
And
that's the approach we're taking.
I don't think people appreciate how vast the Caribbean market is, and not
Yes,
only the Eastern Caribbean, but the Greater Caribbean in general, right?
absolutely.
In respect of, you look at the food import bill, and you look at how much our consumer habits are saying, our consumer habits in respect of what we buy from places like Alibaba and Shein and all of these fast fashion houses in Asia, it really says that the purchasing power is there. It's
It's
not that
there.
it's not there, it's there. So how
Absolutely.
then do you leverage that within our own community? Yes, yeah, absolutely. Now, sir, let us talk about regional support at the political, at the institutional, at the CARICOM level. What does that look like in respect of where you are in Barbados, but in respect of CARICOM as well? Of course, we know Grenada will be taking on the chairmanship of CARICOM very in short order, that rotating chairmanship. And to me, it's just every time they have a CARICOM meeting, transportation comes up, regional transportation and the challenges of it. But in respect of implementing and operationalizing a proper transportation network, that continues to be left wanting. So, what are you hearing from at the institutional and political level in respect of what you're trying to do?
Well, I must say that our government here in Barbados has been very, very helpful and has contributed significantly to the development of this particular project. And so we are very grateful for that. And, um, and we look forward to consultations with other heads of government as we create this service for the benefit of the region. So the feedback we've had is very positive, and we're going to continue with our consultations with the various governments, hearing their feedback, and we also sharing what we believe is required for us to optimize this service for the benefit of all sectors of Caribbean society.
Absolutely. Well, certainly, I do hope that that institutional support can go beyond the shores of Barbados and it can send ripples throughout the region. Now, let's talk, sir, about pricing structure. What would that look like? That is a challenge if you want to get from Grenada to Barbados or Grenada to Trinidad. Sometimes you have to go to North America to fly down. Um, and of course, that's one of the things that consumers complain about that, it's just too expensive to travel. And some people say, you know what? It's actually more affordable for me to get on a JetBlue flight and go to New York for a vacation. Which the irony here is not lost on me when we are so close to our neighbors in the region, but sometimes it feels so far away. So, how would your pricing structure enable that travel to be hassle free and convenient?
Okay, well, we are going to be a complement to what's been done in terms of air transportation. In fact, there are two air transportation companies within the region that I will not mention that we've already begun to have talks with. So in which will complement their service. So there are rooms for synergy. As I said, we're a very synergistic minded company. And so in terms of our pricing, obviously our pricing would not be at the level of air travel because air travel is faster when you're in the plane, not necessarily faster when you're in transit. Okay.
No.
Okay. Okay. So absolutely. But when you're ready for the connection. But when you get in the plane, it's faster. So because of that, we will be able to our pricing will definitely be way more affordable than the airfare. And obviously there are it you get there. It will take longer for you to get to your place. But what we're doing, we are ensuring that on your way, you have a very enjoyable time. So we're making sure that the type of ships that we get are ships that you can enjoy being in. So we want our people to have a enjoyable journey. So we want our brand to represent. We want to bring uh, I would say, almost a luxury experience at affordable prices. So those are the type of so that's part of our brand. We want folks to ride in style, but our prices will be affordable, and they will be significantly lower than air charges because our overheads are different, and it will make sense. We don't see ourselves as competitors to the industry, air transportation industry. We see ourselves as complementary to them, and that's why we will have partnerships with airlines, and where we even take some of their passengers and actually connect them. So for us, it's one ecosystem. Yeah.
Absolutely. This sounds all very exciting, of course, for the passengers. Of course, we are so interrelated and so interconnected. But I'm also very excited about that ancestral pivot. I call it the ancestral pivot to the motherland, right? I'm really looking forward to that. And the beefing up of trade between Africa and the Caribbean. I think that has been missing for a long time when, of course, we tend to, we have legitimized the global north and, in respect of being trading partners. But there is also a huge market in developing economies in our ancestral homeland as well. So that pivot, I think, looking forward to what you hope to do in the future is something that I'm also very excited about. Ambassador Dr. Thomas, any final comments before we get to the next segment?
No, I thanks for this interview. We are inviting stakeholders to go to our website, connectcaribbeansummit.com, and they can register. Now, the first day, you have to register and get a ticket, but there's no cost to it. The e-commerce, where it's for businesses, there's a very modest cost, because we want to make sure that we have serious people there, and not just observers. And so it's just $25, and you can connect virtually, or you can connect in person, and to learn how the e-commerce platform would work and how you can now begin to sell across the region. And so we encourage you to do that and become part of this event, where you learn how to participate in what's happening. We welcome all stakeholders. Right now, we are in a listening mode. We are working, but we are listening, because we actually believe that in order to deliver this service, we have to listen to the voices of Caribbean people, Caribbean institutions, and perfect exactly the service that we are developing. So we are very systematic in our approach, and we look forward to deliver a service that Caribbean people can be proud of. Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, Ambassador Thomas. We will certainly be putting that up on our page as well, and sharing that in our network so that folks can know about that. Dr. Thomas, thank you so much for appearing on the Bub Report this week.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Absolutely. Viewers and listeners, this is the Bub Report. We'll be right back for the second segment of the program. Please stand by.
Should your loved ones pass on, they deserve to be treated with dignity. And at S.A. Johnson Funeral Home, we can provide you with that service. We can take you every step of the way during your sorrowful moments. When that need arises, call S.A. Johnson Funeral Home at 347-777-9797. That's 347-777-9797. S.A. Johnson Funeral Home is a Caribbean family-owned funeral home here in Brooklyn, providing funeral services, but in a dignified way. From cremation to burial to the repatriation of your loved ones, you don't have to go through the hassle, as we provide exceptional service that allows you to mourn and heal peacefully. For more information, visit our website, www.sajohnsonfuneral.org. Send us an email at sajfuneral@aol.com or call 347-777-9797. S.A. Johnson Funeral Home, because you deserve to be treated with dignity.
I take great pleasure in extending greetings to the honorable heads of governments and other dignitaries assembled. I also greet the CARICOM officials and everyone else. I want to first express heartfelt thanks to Almighty God for preserving me throughout the past 50 years. My life has gone through many twists and turns, and I believe that I am still here because of God's direct intervention. I will always be eternally grateful to Him. Let me now say up front that I am sincerely thankful and appreciative for this moment. To the Secretary General of CARICOM and her staff, I say it is a great honor that you have afforded me the opportunity to participate in the 50th anniversary celebrations. I say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, from the bottom of my heart. 50 years is a long time in the experience of all of us. At the age of 92, I do not claim to remember accurately the details of what transpired back then, but there are a few things which I can broadly recall. I think that I can say definitively that finalizing the treaty signed in 1973, and which I had the privilege of signing on behalf of Montserrat in 1974, was a very, very challenging exercise. It was not easy. It was a daunting task to accommodate the needs of territories which differed so widely in size, population, and levels of economic development. Ministers were at all times conscious that decisions taken would have consequences for their people in the future. There was therefore some understandable caution. I think the process benefited from several factors which came together to produce an acceptable outcome. Among these was the fact that belief in the aims and objectives, together with commitment and determination that they be achieved, was almost universal among heads of governments. Along with this, the leaders shared goodwill and a modicum of camaraderie. Also most important was the invaluable support and guidance provided by a cadre of capable, highly motivated, and hard-working public servants who worked tirelessly. There were occasions when Secretariat staff and civil servants from island delegations worked through the night. They stretched their intellect to the maximum in effort to provide ministers with workable ideas and options for resolving some difficult issues. The contribution of those public servants should always be remembered. I believe that the fact that the community has remained intact for 50 years might suggest that those who had the vision, those who planned the project, as well as those who signed the treaty, may have got at least some things right. The longevity of the community is also a tribute to the leaders and public servants, including those currently in office, who have carried forward the mantle over the past 50 years. To them, I extend congratulations, and to those now on the job, best wishes as you continue to serve your people. The international community continues to be a jungle not very friendly to small states like the CARICOM territories. The survival of our unique way of life may face some more severe threats and come under some hitherto unforeseen stresses and pressures. Nonetheless, I personally have undimmed belief in the resilience of our people and their will to defend and maintain their treasured ways of life. I believe that the case for regional collaboration and cooperation is stronger now than 50 years ago. I urge our governments and peoples to continue their pursuit of excellence in every activity and at all levels of society. It is my hope that this striving for excellence will proceed at a pace not less than the rate at which other progressive countries are advancing. Again, I say, I am profoundly grateful for the honor of being allowed to participate in this fashion. I have treasured memories of the outstanding Caribbean statesmen with whom I worked. I am saddened that they all have passed, but I repeat, I'm extremely grateful to Almighty God for the precious blessing of long life. I wish everyone involved in the celebrations an enjoyable and happy experience. I wish the heads of governments and other ministers and government officials productive and rewarding deliberations and God's richest blessings to all. Thank you.
Greetings, CARICOM citizens. I am the chairman of the Caribbean community. I extend warm greetings to you from pure Grenada, the spice of the Caribbean. Welcome to the 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM. CARICOM has been a pillar of collaboration for the past 5 decades, promoting economic growth, social progress, and sustainable development across member states. Through our collective efforts, we have advanced initiatives to enhance trade relations and cooperation, foster regional security, address climate change, and promote cultural exchanges. This year, Grenada celebrates our 50th Jubilee Year of Independence under the theme, One People, One Journey, One Future. And I look forward to the continued success of our Caribbean community, embracing our oneness, which stands as a testament to the strength of collaboration, the resilience of our people, and our steadfast commitment to regional progress. As chairman of CARICOM, I reaffirm Grenada's commitment to deepening integration, strengthening regional cooperation, and addressing the issues that have hindered our growth. I intend to champion a practical digital transformation agenda, an integral part of our existence, from the way we work to the skills we develop, to how we communicate and entertain ourselves. Digital technology has already revolutionized the way we access information and provide services, and new advancements, particularly artificial intelligence, AI, bringing a wave of change we must embrace and manage if we are to move our people and economies forward. The most critical thing we can do as Caribbean leaders is to equip our people for this inevitable change. Ensuring we have digital skills now will ensure that we are not only able to seize the opportunities of the future, but also create them. As we embrace the benefits of digital technology, we must also be mindful of the challenges it presents. Issues such as data privacy, cybersecurity, and the digital divide require our attention and action. Ensuring that everyone has equal access to digital resources and that personal information is protected are essential steps in creating a fair and secure digital Caribbean. But it is up to us to harness the potential responsibility for our youth, addressing its challenges while maximizing its benefits. By doing so, we can create a future where digital technology serves as a force for good, empowering individuals and communities to thrive in an increasingly connected world. I take this opportunity to extend my deepest gratitude to all member states, associate members, regional institutions, and the dedicated citizens of the Caribbean who continue to contribute to the success of our Caribbean community. And I welcome you, on behalf of all Grenadians, to our country, the spice of the Caribbean, where I know you will enjoy a warm welcome and the tranquility of our tri-island state. We are proud to host you as we celebrate both 50 years of Grenada's independence and 50 years of enhanced regional cooperation through CARICOM. Thank you.
Tell us, a commissioner of police, tell a politician, back off. You have no knowledge of the law. You have no knowledge of law enforcement. You cannot force my officers to do the wrong thing.
But that is somebody's son. That is somebody's child. That is part of a family. And I think that is the part that they are missing out.
Because E and F are apt to be used oppressively.
It's like because we don't see disabled people as sexual beings, which is ridiculous.
You mean they don't want to listen to your version of science? They have their own science. You have your science.
What we need to do is teach people to think and not what to think.
Today, stood by that. Everybody do what they want.
If I could forgive Bernard Cord, then I could forgive Bob Morris too. And today, on this day, I no more have anything in my heart for what he did.
The education system has to be very fluid and dynamic because we're living in very different and changing times.
Treating all your citizens equally, all your citizens fairly, recognizing each group, not discriminating against one or the other.
Hi everyone, thanks for checking out the Bub Report's social media pages. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch our weekly live show, follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can catch repeat episodes on Wednesdays at 4 and 5 p.m. respectively on CRFM Radio and GBN TV in Grenada. We are also viewed on Sundays at 8 p.m. on WPG 10 throughout the Caribbean. Thanks for watching.